Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Tough Love Podcast with yours truly, Mario J. We got a conversation that we need to have. Go ahead, come in, hit that like button. If you on your lunch break, cool. I'm gonna let you enjoy this lunch break with a great conversation. A lot of times when we talk about parenting, co-parenting, toxic parenting, narcissistic behavior, we always get sidetracked with a bunch of delusional statements, a bunch of craziness, a bunch of fuckery and foolery. But today we're going to hit the nail on the head. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Daniel, I see you. Money Boy, Trey, what's going on? Whitfield in the building. I want to have this conversation. If you are familiar with any type of urban music, then you know who this woman is on the screen. Her name is Black China. However, the entire topic is not about Black China. The topic, more or less, is about actually her mother, which is Tokyo Toni. Tokyo Toni. Now, Tokyo Toni is a very interesting person. And the reason why I wanted to use her as an example for this conversation in regards to saying, man, F them kids. Because Tokyo Toni has unveiled a lot about her child, a lot about her parenting, a lot about who her child has become as an adult. And I wanted to use this as a prime example of what bad parenting is. And this is something that is going on in communities all around the world. We have parents that raise their children up with no structure, no standards, no morals, in a real toxic environment. And then they wonder why their child turns out the way that they are. So I'm going to play some commentary from another content creator that's going to give you a little spill on what recently this woman has done to her child. And we're going to unpack this story or whatever case may be bit by bit. Let's get this thing started.
Out of control because I felt so powerless. I needed to say something. I could not believe what this woman was saying about her own daughter. And I mean, it gave me the worst vibes. I was literally on my way out. We were chilling, going out for a few minutes to catch a few things. And man, my husband and I both were just sitting there outraged and could not believe how this woman was referring to her own child. Who was there? Who saw that mess? And as a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and get into it. But even before I say that, I just want to say this. Listen here. Whenever you run across a woman, a mother that can talk about her own child like that can offer her own child to suck her dick, that can say the most egregious things and record the shit and pridefully sit her stinking ass up there like she was doing something. This bitch thought she was stunting on her own fucking daughter. Did you see this hoe? Okay, I'm gonna get into this really seriously, but I just want y'all, did y'all see? She really thought, the fact that she thought that was a good look at all. The fact that she thought that was a good idea, if anything, she should have never shown that Tasha. She should have never did that. There is no way that she should have went on a platform anywhere. She should have never publicly, that should have been her secret. Called her daughter all those names. And I mean, I know that y'all feel me and y'all understand where I'm coming from, but whatever hoe she think her daughter is, she created. Whatever hoe she thinks she is, she created. Whatever dirty, what does she call her? Cum guzzling. All that shit. All that stuff, that's her. Every name she called her daughter, she created. She was literally talking to and chastising her own fucking image. This was the most disturbing piece of shit I have ever seen in my fucking life. So I want to ask you guys, I was going to give you guys a few minutes to, because I want to know how you guys feel, because I want to go ahead. I want to review the stream because I got commentary step by step, because I was triggered. You hear me? Triggered. Belly Butterfly says she vindicated China. She absolutely did. But I want you to remember, I just did a video about China about a month ago. And I did insert a little bit. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I was just talking to my assistant and I was like, look here. I was thinking about this because when I found out she was talking about this surviving Black China stuff, I was like, I need to do something in depth about this woman. And I've mentioned her in videos. Just last month, a video that I did about Black China and the situation with the custody and the Rob situation. This woman is a demon, okay? She is a demon. And as much as people in this space, especially people in the Black sector of YouTube, y'all want to talk about the problems in the community, you make sure you talk about them old bitches like that, okay? You make sure, because we talk a lot about the end result, right? Meaning people like to look at women like Black China and put them in a box. And I mentioned this in my video too. Ain't nobody got shit to say about Kim Kardashian. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about none of them Kardashian hoes, nothing. But everybody has something to say about Black China and how she's living and what she's doing. What the hell is she doing different than Kim Kardashian? Nothing. I felt bad for her too. I felt so bad for her. It was absolutely ridiculous. Do you guys want me to play the, what do you want me first? Do you want me to review the parts of the stream up until the phone call? Or do you guys want me to play the phone call first? A lot of talk, girl, you don't know what you're talking about, baby. She said YouTubers are going to have to be responsible for who they let on their platforms after so many subs. Girl, listen here. If you ain't, who else got to be responsible? Do CNN got to be responsible? Do Barbara Walters got to be responsible? Do Oprah got to be responsible? These motherfuckers didn't talk to serial killers, terrorists, and every goddamn body else. What's up, Black Woman Sphere? Listen, you can't sit up here and try to limit the reach of someone on YouTube just because we are reachable and accessible. Unless you want to police who Oprah got on, who Dr. Phil got on, and who all them motherfuckers got on, you can't police the YouTubers. That's silly. Okay? Well, right. They would not let her on, but just because she's not relevant. You understand? They don't matter. They don't matter, child. Don't you understand that? They don't matter. So what do you guys want? Put let me know what you guys want me to hey, Afi Kingdom, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. So yeah. But as if this documentary pop, you better believe. Okay, Latavia says she was on the real. Exactly. I'm trying to figure out why these people do this shit. I'm trying to figure. I don't understand why you want to tell YouTubers who they should and shouldn't and shouldn't. What you're telling a YouTuber is that you're not qualified to do these same conversation these other women are doing just because they're on mainstream. No. Okay, I'm going to do the call, but I just want to know what order. Yeah, the call was a lot. What order do you guys want me to do? Do you want to play the call first? Put a 1 if you want me to play the call first. A 2 if you want me to review the stream first. Which one? It's up to you guys. Y'all got 30 seconds to let me know what you guys want to do, because I'm ready to rock and roll. Either way, it don't matter to me. But you know what? To be honest with you, I didn't really want to play. The call was hard for me. Okay. 1 is the call, 2 is review the stream. Let me look at this. Let me see, because I don't like looking through StreamYards, because for some reason it seems like StreamYards delays the thing. Okay, so you guys want me to go ahead and
we're definitely going to get into this. But what I want you guys to notice, you know what I'm saying? What I want to make sure. Okay. So we're definitely going to get into this conversation. But what I want you guys to understand is that this woman, Tokyo Toni, represents a lot of parents. I'm not just saying female parents, but a lot of male parents as well, just across the board, bad parenting. And you raise your children up to be toxic. You raise them up to be in a dysfunctional environment where your thoughts and your beliefs now are imposed upon that child, where you say, okay, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to piss somebody off. I am so tired of the simps. I'm so tired of the gaslighting. I'm so tired of the crazy ass excuses that are being made to make sure that women like you. I'm going to say that again. I am so tired of the men that go on YouTube or go on some type of platform and say that there is no reason that men can't be in their child's life. I want you guys to think about this woman on the screen right here. And I want you to hear the type of behavior that she displays, the things that she says about her own child. And you just imagine how difficult it would be to be a co-parent or be a in-the-home parent with her. I want y'all to think about this. And this is not throwing shots at no one in particular. This is using her as a source for a conversation. I want you to think, because a lot of people say, well, if you really wanted to be a father, if you really wanted to be a mother, then you would have did X, Y, and Z. You would have fought in the court. You would have did this. Well, imagine if you're dealing with someone toxic. It is very difficult to raise a child or co-parent a child in a toxic situation. How many people agree with that? Because you have men that I see on a constant basis that want to win women's favor, and they say certain things. They're straight men, they're gay men, and they all say a certain narrative that men make a lot of excuses for not being in their child's life. Now, my whole thing about it is, if you have a woman that is willing to say, I'm going to drag you through the court system, I'm going to make it difficult for you to see your child, I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to call you a deadbeat, I'm going to do all of it. Exactly. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. But I think about all of these simps, all of these men who pander and gaslight to women to say, you know what? I'm not going to hold you responsible. Your bad attitude has nothing to do with it. Your toxic behavior has nothing to do with it. Your willingness to increase and damage and verbally abuse that child, because that's what it is. See, we always worry about kids being attacked through pedophilia or someone touching them or molesting them and stuff or whatever, but we never try to address the issues that our children are being mentally abused. Because that's what it is. And I believe that anyone that abuses their child mentally is just as dangerous as a person who abuses their child physically. How many people agree with that? How many people agree with that? That are people like this right here, this toxic Toni lady, okay, that create this narrative that this is the type of parenting that's cool. I'm going to raise my daughter up, okay, to sleep around, to be wild, to be ratchet. And then once she gets to a certain point in her life, I'm going to expect her to come back and love me and care for me and want me to be around. The issue is, this is what happens when you sabotage your children. Okay, this goes for men and women. This is what happens when you tell the other child that the parent is a deadbeat, or you try to manipulate your child. When they grow up, when those children grow up, they have a disdain for you. They don't want to be bothered because now they've gotten around someone who's shown them the light. They've shown them that you are a toxic person, that you are a narcissist, that all the shit that you were saying, you was only saying that to keep me in this bubble of hatred for the other parent, this bubble of hatred and discontentment for anybody that was not you. So Blac Chyna now grows up. She now grows up and now becomes this woman that has these feelings about her mother. This thought process about her mother, that she says, I don't want you around. I don't want you to see my kids. Yeah, I know they're your grandkids, but I don't like your energy. The negativity that you bring with you. And my question to you guys is, how many people do you see that are content creators that actually talk about bad parents? Now, I see a lot of people who do a great job at saying it's the men's fault, it's the women's fault. But what about the parents? Because here's my thing. In order to be a successful co-parent, y'all let me know. If y'all agree with what I'm saying, hit the like button. In order to be a successful co-parent, both parents have to be adult enough to put aside petty grievances, to not involve the children. How many people agree with that? It is very difficult to be a successful co-parent or a parent if you are dealing with a person that does not want to let drama go, that embellishes on gossip, that embellishes on promoting difficult times or promoting barriers for the other parent. So a lot of times when I see people who are gaslighting and simping and pandering to women just to stroke their ego and to never hold them responsible or never hold that parent responsible, I always sit back and I say, how many people believe this shit? I'm about to piss somebody off. How many people believe that, okay, your attitude has nothing to do with the other parent? You promoting drama has nothing to do with the other parent. You being verbally abusive because that child looks like the other parent, telling the child, oh, well, hey, you ain't shit like your mama. You ain't shit like your daddy. But we never talk about this. Now, I hear a lot about deadbeat moms and deadbeat dads, more about deadbeat dads, but it's interesting that this lady right here is not being drugged all over social media right now for what she said about her child. I'm going to play some commentary, but I just want you guys to get this whole thing. When you have people out here saying, F them kids, I'm going to do me. I'm going to get married multiple times. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to teach my children how not to communicate, how cursing people out and dragging them is the way forward, is the way of the future. How you raise your children and the standards and morals that you place with your child is going to affect them in the long run. If you guys are not following the story or whatever, and I know a lot of people are not interested in Blac Chyna and her mother, but I would just say that I just, kind of came aware of some things. And I just noticed that Blac Chyna is her mother. Blac Chyna is her mother. The aggression, the inability to not be able to communicate, not have successful relationships, they're one and the same. So when you raise your child up to be like you, what happens when your child now identifies this is not good behavior? What you did for me growing up was toxic. How many people believe that, at some point in time, we have to have the tough conversation? There are parents out there that are verbally abusing their children. Regardless if it's just, okay, well, now that you have a new person in your life, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or if you're gay and it's the same sex, regardless of what it is, that person now don't want to deal with you. So what you do is now you turn it inward. Let me talk to this child. Because a lot of people get off on, let me turn you against the other parent. Let me turn you against the other parent. Let me make you more like me, because that would really piss them off. I'm talking about males and females. Because we know that both men and women do this. So don't come over here talking about he's just talking about women. No, I'm talking about parents. I'm talking about parents. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I look at this woman and I think about all of the young children out there that are growing up in homes where women like this exist, where parents like this exist, where fathers like this exist, and they are teaching their children all of the wrong things. And then when their children grow up and they have to get therapy, they have to go through several relationships, they have to be 6 or 7 kids in to realize, damn, I grew up in a bad environment. There's nothing productive coming out this woman's mouth. There's nothing successful coming out this woman's mouth. And a lot of us, we bear witness to these types of people on social media. You know, we know both parents, and we're caught in the middle of their foolery and craziness. And we say, this does nothing for your child. You as an adult should handle this as an adult. But going back and forth does nothing but provide embarrassment for your children. And I wonder why we sit back and we laugh at others' pain. I wonder why we sit back and say, this is cool. This type of behavior is unacceptable. And I don't care who you are, but it's unacceptable. Let's get back into this.
Review the stream first, not the whole call. Yeah, the call was a lot. It was really hard for me to listen to that shit. Okay, so you guys want the stream. Okay, so I'll do the stream. I'll review the stream first, because yeah, that call, baby. That call was an entire trip. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into, yes. Look, can we talk about that though? A. Hamilton said Tasha showed tremendous restraint. I would have backed out 10 minutes in. I don't know how she did it. Some of y'all don't even want to. Yeah, that call was really hard, and that's the most incriminating part of everything that happened was that damn call. Okay. That call was sickening. That was disgusting. I cannot believe this woman even had children. So let me get started. All right. So I'm going to start playing, and then we're going to do commentary while we listen. So I'm going to play some, and then I'm going to talk some. And if you don't like that format, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm about to go right now. Let's get to it.
That's not like my favorite. You look good though. Thank you so much for joining us. And so I wanted to, I guess, talk about the interview that I did with Treasure this weekend in LA.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But first, okay, because I know you got some stuff you want to get off your chest.
No, go ahead, baby.
You
I got nothing but
okay.
I got nothing but time.
Okay, so Treasure and I spoke. No, we didn't tell anybody about it until I dropped the teaser online. And you know, her and China have fallen out, and they are pretty much, I'm talking about, like, you know, I would say teenage friends. They met when they were teenagers.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause there for clarity. Treasure is one of Black China's friends. There is another production that Tasha K will be doing, and if you want to get an early review of that, you will have to become a patron of Tasha K in order to see it. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I think she said they're going to air it Thursday. So I think she may have dropped a bit of a trailer on YouTube. I'm not sure. I don't remember if that was just Patreon or whatever, but just so you guys know. Yeah, she is very nasty, Danny. Danny ain't having it.
And
no, they didn't.
They did. Oh, well, she said that she met her at the strip club. Like, China was like 19 and she was 20 or something.
China was a grown woman at 21, but go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so I just want to pause just for 1 second there, just because, just as a mother of adult children, right? This shows you how detached this hoe is, okay? Because even my children are significantly older than that, right? But even saying she was 21, she was a grown woman, that's literally detaching herself from her motherhood. Nobody refers to their 21-year-old, especially when you're getting ready to talk about something like this, as a grown woman. You always see them as your child, even when they're 30. Okay, so while on paper, technically, yes, they're grown, but I don't know many people, there's no maternal.
I feel like there's something I need to say. First of all, this is fair use. Shout out to Tasha K and Naya Sales. I'm actually using some content to drive home a point in regards to toxic parenting. Again, this is not a shot towards women. It's not a shot towards men. I will not be over here calling people dusties and homosexuals. I will not be blaming all women for mistakes. I will be talking about parenting, and I will use this commentary as a means of discussion. And right now, if you guys are just coming in, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Right now, if you're just coming in, we're talking about Miss Tokyo and Black China. And normally, we're talking about, or more so, we're talking about Black China's mother, Tokyo. And we're talking about her parenting style. We're talking about what she's done now to promote and present for her daughter a lifestyle which is very fast-paced, very wild, and very demanding in regards to the ratchet life. And now that this child has grown up and she's become more aware of, hey, you know, I've grown up put around a lot of nonsense. And I want to know how you guys feel about these children that are growing up in a fast-paced environment where their mom are out there and they trying to get it. You know, they trying to get it. And when I mean trying to get it, that means they're all in the streets. You know, they're sleeping around with a lot of people. They loud, they ratchet. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, just being out and about in the streets. It's all about the next man I can sleep with, the next woman I can sleep with. And you create this environment, this fast-paced environment for your child. And before you know it, your child is no longer a child. Your child is pregnant. Your child has a baby on the way. Your child now has responsibilities of an adult. They lose their childhood trying to live up to a certain standard or emulate the things that are going on around them. You put them around other people that are now exploring different sexualities. So you expose them not only to sex, you expose them to drugs, you expose them to alcoholism, you expose them to abuse. You expose them by living a toxic life. So a lot of times when we talk about parenting, we derail the conversation by saying it's all the woman's fault. We derail the conversation by saying it's all the man's fault. But now I just want to talk about bad parents, period. Because when you get to a point where your child is now more successful than you because they've decided to say, I am going to discontinue the behavior, the learned behavior that I got from you, mom, that I got from you, dad. Now I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to change the narrative and I'm going to be better now. So a lot of people don't want to have this type of conversation. You have men and women on social media that would rather sit down and blame men. Hey, you're just a deadbeat dad. You're making a lot of excuses of why you're not in your child's life. Well, my whole thing about it is I'm going to say some shit that's going to piss some people off. If you are dealing with a narcissist, if you are dealing with a toxic person, it is going to be very difficult for you to co-parent. I would advise you to do two things: legally handle the situation and apply a lot of patience. Apply a lot of patience. I am so tired of hearing men, okay, that's supposed to be alpha males, that's supposed to be liked by the female population and majority, say men make too many excuses. Men need to be men. Listen here, you fuck boy. I'm going to say again. Listen here, you fuck boy. Everything needs to be outlined on a case-by-case basis. If you have two adults that are willing to co-parent successfully, that's one scenario. But when you have one adult that is willing to co-parent, but the other adult does not agree to that. The other adult is making it difficult. How can another person make it difficult for you to see your child? We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. Blake says, I thought deadbeat dads only referred to child support. Nope. Deadbeat dad refers to anything the mother or the other woman decides that you are not doing for her as well. See, a lot of people get this narrative that when people pull on your heartstrings, it's because of something real. It's because of something valid, when that's far from the truth. A lot of people use that lingo, okay, to demoralize someone in regards to saying, okay, I'm gonna call you a deadbeat, not because you haven't done anything for the child, but because you haven't stroked my ego, but because you got a new girlfriend or because you got a new boyfriend. So now I'm going to throw that title on you and say deadbeat, because now other people are going to relate. A lot of people, if I say right now that my daughter's mother, is a deadbeat, you're not going to ask why she's a deadbeat. You're not going to expect no proof that she's a deadbeat. You're going to say, yeah, I relate to that. For those people that are in that situation. And that's what happens a lot of times when people victimize themselves and they use that type of verbiage to pull people's heartstrings. So the narrative about somebody being a deadbeat, that person, what let me break this down for you. Can a person be a deadbeat if the child is not even born yet? How many people believe that? Vic, what's up? Melissa, I see you. Miss Lyons, I see you. Can a person be a deadbeat if the child is not even born yet? Yes or no? I got my homeboy Blake in the building, says, hey, I thought deadbeat was reserved for people who don't pay child support. But I want to ask y'all a real question. Can a person be considered a deadbeat if the child is not born yet? The child has not been birthed yet. The child is in the stomach. Somebody says no. Miss Angela says no. Well, I've seen women call men deadbeats and the child wasn't even born. Okay. Healer for real says yes. Okay. So my thought process on this whole situation, I believe that deadbeat is a term used to emasculate men, to disrespect men, to make the other person feel more empowered, to get them the attention and the validation that they're looking for. A lot of times when you use those narratives and you find out the details of that person being a deadbeat, a lot of times it has nothing to do with monetary value. It has nothing to do with monetary value. It has nothing to do with the man not wanting to support his child. It has everything to do with that man now does not want to sit on the phone and ask you how your day went. That man now does not give you any access to any more penis. That man now has moved on. So a lot of times when you hear that type of lingo or that type of verbiage, it is to cause an effect that, okay, well, since you don't want to be with me, I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin your character. I'm going to talk about your character by throwing narratives at you that no one's going to ask me why you're saying this. They're just going to agree with it. I'm just saying. So when you look at parenting from the back seat and you look at the mom and dad, right? Dad is driving, mom's in the passenger seat, and you're in the back seat and you're watching these parents. You can understand when people are willing to work together. You can understand when people are willing to be positive. You're understanding that people are adulting up. But for a lot of times, for some reason, we miss the mark on addressing issues that we see in the community. And I'm not talking about the Black community. I'm saying community in general. We see these things on social media where baby mom goes after baby dad goes after baby mom. And a lot of people, they like, they share, they ha-ha, they hee, when really at the end of the day, the advice that should be given, y'all get y'all ass some help. And y'all stop dragging each other through the mud, because at the end of the day, it is all about the teamwork that you provide for that child, the parenting and the structure that you provide for that child. But a lot of people miss the mark on that. So Miss Tokyo, when you hear her talk about her child, can you imagine the type of household and verbal abuse that her child has undergone. Can you imagine being the man that has conceived a child with the woman like that? And then this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. Because can you imagine as a man, and let's put it like this, can you imagine as a woman coming into this situation with this woman who totally violates her child? Can you imagine somebody trying to co-parent with that? Can you imagine being a successful co-parent with that? Can you imagine her running around screaming that someone was a deadbeat? Let's get back into this.
Instinct there. And here's the thing. If Treasure and China are saying that they were kids when they met, that's letting you know that they even understood where they were, you know, as far as their maturity level. So if they're saying that they're children, then you're going to have to accept that. But see, she wants to remove all responsibility because this woman no longer sees her daughter as a child. She don't see her as her daughter. This is another woman that we're dealing with. She's dealing with her like she's any other bitch on the street. That's what she's doing. Let's get into it.
Well, when her and I talked, you know, and I said, you know, why is it, being that you're so close to, or you were close to China and Toni? I said, well, do you feel that Toni is jealous of China? And she said, yes. What do you think about that?
I think that's absolutely. First of all, that's my child. I can't be jealous.
Hold on. Y'all see this lying process? She just said she was a grown-ass woman 5 minutes ago. But when Treasure told the truth that we all see, that this bitch is jealous of her own child, what did she say? First of all, China's my child. She's your child when it's convenient for you. This is why you know this shit is an act, okay? This bitch play crazy. She played crazy. But if she had the sense enough to say in that moment when she got that shit put right on her, in that moment, she said she's her child, that's real convenient because just 3 seconds before she was a grown-ass woman. The fuck?
This is something that I created, helped bring her to where she is today.
Okay.
That's impossible. That's literally impossible. I wouldn't be the mama bear I am to be jealous of my child.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm stopping too much already, but listen, let me tell you. Who told her that she was mama bear? And this is the thing about, I'll discuss, because she mentioned this mama bear thing several times through this. Mama bear keeps their children's confidence, okay? Mama bear does not expose their children. Mama bear keeps the secrets. Mama bear, let me tell you what mama bear is for her child, because see, I'm mama bear, okay? When you mama bear, you protect your baby, okay? You are the attorney, you're the doctor, you're the ATM, you're the lawyer, you're the counselor, you're the bully if you have to be for the people that are after them. But you're not this. This is not mama bear. But when she keeps diverting back to, I gave her life, I made her. See, it's a lot of women that think that because they have children, that they have that's it. That somebody owes you something. Let me tell you.
I want to stop this right here. I want to just go on to this whole thing of a lot of people feel like because they've had the child that they can say anything they want to and do whatever they want to with that child. And I want to show you guys how incorrect that is. So I want to just thank Nyla for saying that particular statement, because I believe that there's a lot of people out there that believe, okay, well, I am the Alpha and Omega because I've had this child. You know what I'm saying? When the fact of the matter is, if you are to be other things, the counselor, the ATM, the doctor, the lawyer, et cetera, that means you need to be well versed. That means that you need to be in a right frame of mind in order to give the right guidance, the right advice. So you can't be one-sided at all times. In order to help your children, you have to have a a positive mindset. I noticed that there's a lot of people raising children that do not have a positive mindset. They are not healthy in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't know about you, but I would expect someone to teach children how to be great people. Give them the structure and the standards and the morals and values that they need in order to depict what type of person they want to become. Now, when you only give them bullshit, you only talk at them and never talk with them. You never explain what the hell actually right looks like. You never take them around positive people. Everybody you take them around is on drugs, is alcoholics, is having issues, loud, aggressive, over-sexualizing everything. And you expect your children to grow up safe. You expect your children to grow up happy. You expect your children to grow up being able to communicate, to be able to go out into the world and be productive citizens when by far they haven't seen anything productive. I'm going to teach you how to be aggressive, but I'm not going to teach you how to handle a checkbook. I'm not going to teach you how to work on your credit. I'm not going to teach you how to buy a home. I'm not going to teach you the first steps in regards to buying a car. I'm not going to have those conversations with you, but I am going to teach you how to be a bad bitch. I'm going to teach you that. And I'm not going to teach you that because I'm sitting you down and let you learn it. I'm going to teach you that by observing me. I'm just saying. I'm going to teach you that by observing me. How many corrupt relationships I'm in. What I do on social media. What I think is funny. What I think is laughable. How many times I'll go out a week. What I wear when I go out, the people that I invite around me to the home. Oh, this is uncle such and such. This is auntie such and such. This mommy new friend. This daddy new friend. I'm going to continue to put you in a whirlwind of dysfunction. And I'm going to expect the world to respect me because a lot of people that do this right now, you know, they wear the single mom badge of honor. Or the custodial parent badge of honor and say, look at how great I am. Come on, y'all. Come on now. You know those people that love to promote that single badge of honor. But then when you look at what they're actually doing for their kids, they're teaching their kids the wrong shit. They're verbally abusing their kids. They're causing more confusion and dysfunction in their life than the actual kid itself. Come on now. You want to work? You want to know why these children are growing up with anger issues? Why they can't communicate and have simple conversations? Come on now. I'm about to piss somebody off. This is a prime example of people thinking that, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is not even an example of kids raising kids, because we all know that happens. This is an example of someone that doesn't know how to parent. Just because you're an adult don't mean you know how to parent. Just because you have children don't mean you know how to parent. And I think that's the issue. I think that motherhood and fatherhood, it's all great. But that doesn't mean you know how to conduct the responsibilities of motherhood and fatherhood. Getting to the nitty gritty in this conversation here. But if the D good, sometimes that all goes out the window. I've heard a lot of women talk about how they were digmatized. Very interesting. That's another conversation. But here's the situation, though. Here's a situation. If you are dealing with a person that is like this, that has your children, that is responsible for the upbringing of your child and is making it difficult for you to co-parent, I am very interested in having a conversation with someone who says, oh, it's still possible. You're not a real man if you don't find a way. I'm telling you, man, Ace Metaphor, Derek Jackson, I've heard a lot of men say, you're not a real man if you don't get over this, if you don't get through this. Well, suppose every time you come around your kid, the woman's calling the police on you. Suppose every time you go somewhere, or every new boyfriend, or well, now you got to fight the new boyfriend. Somebody's coming to your job trying to get you fired. The court system is lagging. Now, here's the issue about a lot of stuff. We all know that, hey, the mother would have to be on crack, had to been laid off for 5 years, have to have coronavirus, have to literally be bleeding out the eyes in order for the father to win custody. But we talk about toxic behavior and these types of things that happen on social media. Social media makes it very easy to see toxic behavior. Very easy to see verbal abuse. How many times have you seen the custodial parent chastising their children, smacking them upside the head, screaming at them, hollering at them, or whatever the case to be? And it'll be people were like, oh yeah, that's how you parent. That's how you do that. No, that's how you abuse your kid, because you can't use your words, because you can't form sentences in order to say this is how you articulate and get your point across. Let's get back into this.
Tell you something. Rats have children. Cats and dogs have children. Okay? You ain't no prize, or you ain't did nothing amazing because you got pregnant and had a baby. That ain't shit right there. That ain't shit. Thank you, Olivia. Olivia said toxic mentality of a black mother is so dangerous. Toxic mentality of any mother is so dangerous. Everybody wants to know what's wrong with this generation of women. And I'm going to tell you, we have to give some of the credit to these Tokyo Toni ass bitches. Some of this credit has to go to women like this. Simon 00 says, to be fair, prior to their falling out, Tokyo actually had a good rep with China and the Kardashians for being a good grandma. So she is a complex person with different sides, not excusing her evil. Girl, I don't give a damn about that. I know what you mean, though, baby. I really trust and I understand exactly what.
Isn't it crazy how we tend to make a lot of excuses for people? No, it's crazy, because not even with parenting, but with people in general, like the whole gorilla glue girl. It's like a lot of people's like, y'all shouldn't be laughing at her because, she's going through something, and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, dude, when do we hold people responsible? Like what generation do we need to be in order to hold people responsible just for their actions, period? I'm gonna take the time and I'm gonna put a whole bunch of glue on my head, and then I'm going to come to social media and I'm aware. What's so crazy? This is what's so crazy about today's society. You have a person that puts Gorilla Glue in their hair, and they have it in their hair for an entire month before they decide to do something about it. What could this woman possibly be teaching children that's positive? I want you guys to think about that. What do you think about that? And then you wonder why your children grow up and they have a lack of respect for you. They have a disdain for you because you haven't shown them anything. You haven't shown them any positive behavior to emulate. You're still seeking clout. You're still seeking attention. Well, how about you seek to be a great parent? You get to and see, the competition is so steep that nowadays people are seeing their children as competition. People are seeing their children as competition. People are attacking their children. Hey, you're more successful than me. So now that you're more successful than me, I want you to come back and take care of me. Well, my whole thing about it is, are you raising your kids to take care of you? That is a great question. I'm going to propose that to the audience. Are you raising your children to take care of you? Because I can tell you that is retarded. That's retarded. Your job as a parent, when you decided to lay down and get pregnant, your job was to birth the child successfully, raise the child successfully, and then allow that child to go off and be prosperous. It is not for that child to come back and take care of you. Now, assist you from time to time, do certain things as a child would do, then great. But a lot of people think that the children owe them something. I demand that you do this for me. Why? Think about how many women put their children into these pageants and living vicariously through their child. Oh, I just want you to be a beauty queen. I just want you to do this. I just want you to let the child be a child. 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, wear makeup. Why can't we let children be children? Why can't we let children enjoy their youth? I've seen people applaud little kids twerking, applaud little boys in strip clubs getting twerked on, applaud little kids dressing up like drug dealers or, Cardi B's and Meg Thee Stallions taking photos. Their Halloween costumes was people who wanted to dress up like WAP. It was young children who wanted to dress up like those women inside the WAP video. Again, this is not knocking that level of entertainment, but my thing about it is, isn't that sad and interesting? Sad and interesting. Look at who our children want to emulate. They don't want to emulate their parents for some reason. Why don't they want to emulate their parents? Or are they emulating their parents? Are they emulating their parents? Are they products of their environment? I want to be a star because my mother wanted to be a star. I want to deal with several men because my mother dealt with several men. I want to be in and out of relationships because my father was in and out of relationships. I want to talk aggressive and disrespect people because my father and mother disrespected people. I want to have multiple children because my father and mother have multiple children. I want to get government assistance because my mother and father got government assistance. The cycle continues. The cycle goes on and on and on. And we start talking about parents and how toxic they are, but we never get to a point where, you know what? Some shit just don't make sense. Some shit just don't make sense. And we expect that these people raising these children are going to somehow magically get the help that they need, magically be productive. Let me tell you something. These kids are not growing up to be, these kids are not growing up to say, I want to be doctors and lawyers anymore. Man, listen, y'all, we can argue all day. Children are not growing up and saying that they want to be doctors and lawyers anymore. Do you realize what they want to be? Do you realize who's taking the forefront in regards to what your children is watching? Some of them are watching it with you. I want you to look at this photo and I want you to ask yourself, what do you think this woman would promote her child to grow up and be? What do you think Toni would be promoting in her household for her children to want to grow up and be? I got a bunch of different chat rooms going on. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but you're exactly right. Social media star. Yep. Will want her children to be a part of a rich family. Yep. Stripper. Yep. I want you to think about this, y'all. I want you to think about this. And when we talk about the values and morals in the community, I want you to think about, this is the same woman that said, she don't deal with black women. She think they're lazy. All they're good for is having a bunch of children. My first question would be, well, what is your job? What have you done? You've created a child that don't even want you around your grandkids. So how can you talk about black women? You're going on public display saying how bad your daughter is, how much of a hoe your daughter is, when it's clear that the other content creator just said she is you. She is a younger version of you. Y'all stop playing with me. Hit that like button. Stop playing. Hit that like button. We got to have this conversation. Because when you keep on talking about F the kids, when you keep on acting like, you know, you're the greatest mother because, oh, look at all of the new stuff I brought my daughter. Look at all of the new stuff I brought my son. And this goes for men and women. Look at the look at me's. I've done all of these materialistic things, but you haven't given your child any value. You haven't taught them anything positive. If your child stays on a TV, stays on a phone, and you never sit down and actually have real conversations, you don't know that kid. Come on now, let's be real. You don't know that kid. Everybody wants the standing ovation that they are the great parent, that they're providing their child what needs to be provided in order for their child to be successful. When at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. You don't know how successful your child is until they grow up. I think a lot of people, honestly, for some people, children are meal tickets. Some people have children just to say, okay, if I have this child, this is going to keep this person around. When, to be honest with you, it might keep a person around, but that doesn't mean that person is going to respect you and want to be with you. Let me go to some of these comments. This woman is on a different level. She is beyond a bad mother. This should not be allowed to procreate. Well, here's the thing. You know what? I hear your comment, but I want to really narrow this thing down. Listen to me, okay? Because I'm about to piss somebody off, okay? This woman represents a lot of people. That's what you don't get. That's why I'm using her as a center focus. This woman represents a lot of people. Based on her values, based on her standards, based on what she thinks is cool and what's not cool. Well, I'm gonna go on live and I'm gonna smoke this weed. I'm gonna blow smoke in the camera. I'm gonna twerk. I'm gonna do all of these things. So what example are we really setting? Find yourself a rich man, girl. It's not saying become an entrepreneur, work for yourself, build up your own legacy. I'm proud to say I've been married 5 times. Think about it. Blake says, Mario, success does not involve money, though. And you know what? I'm not saying that success is in the eyes of the beholder, just like beauty is. However, I'm saying society norms. You have to have certain things in order to be successful in society. They look at certain things. They say, hey, if you don't have a good credit score, you're not successful. If you don't have access to a certain amount of funds, you're not successful. If you don't live in a home or have a home ownership, you're not successful. There are certain things that society norms dictate and outline for you to be successful. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I'm saying that there are certain things that society says you need to have. Some people say, okay, you need to have a degree in order to be successful. But we know people that don't have degrees that are successful. So there are certain things that are a case-by-case basis. I get it. I think I'm defining it right now. Again, success is in the eyes of the beholder. However, depending on what community you live in, there are certain things that are society norms for that particular community. Period. I'm not going to allow you to move into my neighborhood as a community leader if you're saying, okay, well, I'm gonna keep a bunch of broken down cars in the front yard. I'm gonna have parties all the time. I'm gonna be calling the police back and forth all the time. There are certain society norms and standards that you have to abide by in order to be successful in that community. That's just a fact. That's a fact. Some neighborhoods you can sit in the front yard and smoke weed. Nobody's gonna say anything. Some you can shoot guns. Nobody's gonna say anything. Hey, some shit you can have sex in the goddamn backyard. Nobody's gonna say anything. But there are certain areas where people are gonna say it. I'm just saying, if you can't understand that, I don't know how else to break it down. The issue here is that, again, this woman represents a lot of parents, a lot of toxic parents out there. And we get so caught up on saying, well, these dusties, homosexuals, deadbeat dads, right? And we get so caught up on saying, well, it's the woman's fault and this, and this. But my whole thing about it is, I want y'all to think about this. It's parents' fault. And I don't care which parent it is. The fact of the matter is, once you have children, you now have a responsibility to govern those children accordingly. That means work together. You guys are a team. And in order to be a team, that means everyone has to pull their slack. Everyone has to fulfill a role. And a lot of times when you're dealing with a person like this, like you see on the fucking screen right now, use your fucking eyes. When you're dealing with a person like this, it is very difficult to co-parent. So I don't give a fuck who you go out there and you listen to that tell you, well, as a man or as a woman, you need to be, you no excuses. There's no excuses why you can't be a father or why you can't be a mother. If you're dealing with a person like this, they're going to make it difficult. They're going to make it difficult. Who wants to have the police called on them all the time? Who wants to be in and out of court all the time? Who wants to spend money on lawyer fees? Now, when I say this is assuming you don't have money for a lawyer. Listen to me right now. I'm about to piss somebody off. Listen to this shit. So all of this pandering and all of the rhetoric about, gaslighting and simping, talking about, well, these men are just making excuses on why they can't be in their child's life. If you're dealing with a person like this, it is going to make it extremely impossible to be successful in a timely fashion. I'm waiting for somebody to do some clapback. I'm waiting for somebody that says, it don't matter about the other parent's actions. It don't matter about the other parent's attitude. It don't matter if they're calling your job or calling the police. It don't matter if they drag you through the court system. It don't matter if they bashing you on social media. It don't matter if they're trying to get you in trouble in the community. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't. Shut the fuck up. You better start dealing with things on a case-by-case basis. Because can you imagine your child going through that shit? And you telling your son, oh, it don't matter, son. You still going to have to find a way. You better tell your son, listen, handle it through the court system and be patient. Because you trying to force yourself in that child's life with someone that is willing to call the police, with someone that is willing to call your job, with someone that is willing to sabotage you in a community. Someone is willing to go to that extreme to cause you not only physical harm, but verbal and mental and social harm. That's an issue. That's an issue. And it, just like someone said, it's exhausting, you motherfuckers that don't think that should happen or who's never had to face that situation. So when a man tells me or a woman tells me as a non-custodial parent that they're dealing with people like this, I totally get it. I totally get it. And you damn right, Vic, it matters a great deal. So you guys have to get out of this mindset of just because a man is not fighting to the point where I'm going to just appear at your motherfucking house to see my kid. You ain't gonna stop me from seeing my kid. Okay, then go to jail. Okay, then go to jail. And here's the thing, the court system doesn't happen overnight. So if you're not seeing your child now, you're probably going to be waiting another 60 to 90 days before you can actually get into the court system to try to rectify anything. But in the meantime, of course, now you have to deal with the community, and now you have to deal with family members and friends and naysayers and enemies, everybody surrounding the situation. But again, everybody thinks that, you know what, fathers need to jump off the roof in order to get to their kids. There's no excuses. There's no excuses for the non-custodial parent. And I think that I am both the non-custodial and custodial parent. But the fact of the matter is, I want to apply some pressure to this situation, to this conversation, that a lot of people make excuses to say that there is no excuse to be made. I mean, goddamn. Teach your children the most important thing is who to choose to procreate. Exactly. Okay, got you. Understood. But things happen. Things happen. People get horny. Things happen, etc. We know that people should be wearing condoms. We know people should be taking birth control. But shit happens. Okay, once you bust that motherfucking nut, it's a wrap. It's sent. Goddamn it. It's an email sent. You can't retrieve it back. Some people don't believe in goddamn abortions. Some people say, well, this is my last leg. I ain't believe this. I ain't believe that. We gonna have this motherfucker. But the thought process is that we sit around people who are toxic to their children. We see it on a daily basis on social media, but we do nothing about it. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I see a mother or a father abusing, verbally abusing, or physically abusing their child, I'm reporting their ass. I'm reporting their ass. I'm not gonna sit back and let you embarrass that child because you feel like you have an ego issue or you want to be vindictive today. I'm reporting your ass. I'm doing something about it. I'm not only reporting you to the social media platform that you're on, I'm gonna report you to the local authorities and also CPS. You're gonna be dealing with a whole lot. But to promote a narrative that, you know, there are these deadbeat fathers. Well, here's the situation, especially for 2021. I say again, for 2021, we need to find out what makes that person a deadbeat. The person you talking about, what makes them a deadbeat? And a lot of times you will find out that it has nothing to do with monetary value. A lot of it is just swollen egos, hurt and bruised egos, that now I'm going to call you these names to empower myself, to pull and invoke heartstrings and the attempts at me getting one up on you. I like this. Hey, y'all comments are coming in strong. You can't change a sick person like this. So you're better to teach your children prevention is better than a cure. I totally get it. I totally get it. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, people like this don't give a fuck about their kids. I say again, they will verbally abuse their children. They will put their children in a dysfunctional household. They will put them around dysfunctional people. They will do dysfunctional things that will be now based as an example for what your child is to do. Think about it. You can clearly see where therapy is needed. You can clearly see where help is needed, but was never provided. When you get to a certain age, at some point in time, you have to goddamn take some responsibility. And I get it. Some people, you know, they find themselves pregnant based off a lot of situations. Some people were raped and now they have a child. Some people were in long-lasting relationships and had a child. Some people, was doing a one-night stand and they had children. So there's all types of reasons why children come about. But I'm just hoping that this conversation promotes more conversation. Because when you see situations like this shit is sad. This shit is sad. But how many of you all have girlfriends have homeboys that are toxic to their children. Think about it. How many of you all know toxic people that are raising children right now? Don't get quiet now. Don't get quiet now. How many people know toxic people that are raising kids? Vindictive people that are raising kids, that are using children as weapons. I got some people saying a few. That's the problem that we have. We have people that are, I see men bringing too many families around and women doing the same thing. Yeah, so this is not a separation between men and women. So this might not be the lie for a lot of you motherfuckers. And the reason why I say that is because if you want me to Cynthia G you or Derek Jackson you, I'm not picking a side. I'm going straight down the motherfucking middle. Because on both sides, I see a lot of fuckery and foolery, but nobody wants to talk about it common ground or with common sense. Everybody wants to say, I'm going to blame someone else. And the fact of the matter is, this woman represents parents, male and female, X and Y chromosome. She represents parents, people, humans that are raising children in such a toxic manner that when these children grow older, they have all of these dysfunctions. And they then go into relationships with those same standards and morals that was identified to them until someone comes along and say, baby girl, baby boy, you need help. You need help. But I think we're so scared to have that conversation. We're scared to get people help. We're scared to tell this person, you know what? Let me tell you something. You know, toxic people do stuff like this, right? I'm going to run around the city. I'm going to run around the town and I'm going to tell everybody that you're a bad mother. I'm going to tell everybody that you're a bad father. And they get off on that. And they think that that type of rhetoric is not going to affect the child. That type of rhetoric is not going to affect the child. So you got to think about the magnitude of what people do in regards to raising their children. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that you should not do with your children. It's certain things that you should not do in front of your children. And I'm going to tell you right now. Exactly. There is no reason as a parent for you to run around and bash the other parent. I wish that there was a law against it. I wish they ass could be thrown under the jail. I wish they ass could be goddamn a firing squad could hit their ass. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're supposed to be on a team, when you have a child, that child is brought into this world. That child is now a part of a team, and you guys are supposed to regulate that team together. Can you imagine a motherfucker running around trying to sabotage the team? Off with the head. Off with their head. And that's what people don't understand. When you sit around and you listen to your girlfriend talking about, oh, my baby daddy this and my baby daddy that, right? You listen to your homeboy say, my baby mama this and my baby mama that. My thing about it is, when's the last time you actually had a conversation with them? And what is really the problem? Because obviously the parents love their child. So you're saying that you're not getting the attention that you want. So that's why this person is a deadbeat. That's why this person needs to be talked about. That's why you want to make sure everybody that's around this person dislikes this person, because you dislike them and you're too afraid to have an issue with them yourself. So you need other people to gang up on that person. Well, that looks like a coward to me. That sounds like a weak ass person to me. That sounds like a person that is not successful to me. You teach your children everything wrong to do. I don't care if you got a new house, a new car, a new job, a new relationship. You can still be toxic. And a lot of people pride themselves on material things. As long as I provide the material things, I do not have to exercise my child's mental capacity in a positive manner. You're exactly right, Tracy. Because they're bitter. They pride themselves on putting the other parent down. And what's even sadder about it, they want the child to embrace that type of rhetoric. They want the child, they get off on, I'm telling you, I've seen it personally. They want the child to have a disagreement with the other parent. They want the child to hate the other parent. And then they sit back and let you try to fight to win your child over or to keep your child to say, can you imagine having to prove to your child that you love them? Come on, y'all. Somebody talk to me now. Can you imagine? Hey, Blake, I see a lot of comments you got going on, brother. I want you to answer this for me. Can you imagine having to prove to your child that you love them because another parent has now told your child, well, your mother or your father don't give a fuck about you? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being the family member or the friend around the person that is encouraging the child not to like or love the other parent? Y'all saying that's crazy. I'm telling you, that shit's real. That shit is real. That shit is toxic. That shit is happening on a daily basis. And I get it. A lot of people say, you know what, man? Hey, you know, I'm not concerned about that. That ain't me. Da, 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 da. But I get that part. I get that part. No, that's wrong, Blake. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's not in the action. The issue is that if you barely see your kid, right? Let's just say you see your kid once a month, right? Based on the court visitation. Let's just say that's the thing. And you got one fucking day to prove to your child that you love them when the other fucking parent got over 20 days. Come on, Blake. Come on, Blake. 20 days of this person hates you. 20 days of this person doesn't love you. 20 days of if they really cared about you, they'll be here in the house with you. And you got one day for 1 hour to debunk all of that. Can you imagine that there are people out there fighting that fight? Because they're dealing with women or parents or men just like that. But then you got other people, you got men like Derek Jackson, Ace Metaphor. You got men like that are saying, well, there's no excuse why that father can't be in that child's life. There's plenty reasons why. You deal with things on a case-by-case basis. But when you send a narrative out like, I would rather win you over. Matter of fact, I seen something with Ace Metaphor. Shout out to Ace Metaphor and Mr. I think it's Let It Go, Mr. Let It Go, content creator. He was having a conversation with Ace Metaphor, and Ace Metaphor was so busy pandering to his audience, to his female audience, by always saying that the men need to do this and the men need to do that. You're not a man if you don't do this. You're not a man if you don't do that. But he doesn't hold the women responsible for anything. So can you imagine Toni, which is the lady on the screen, can you imagine him telling her she's not the issue, it's the man that she's dealing with that's the issue? Can you imagine that fuck shit? Can you imagine Derek Jackson telling this woman, well, it's not your attitude that's the problem, it's him not being man enough to step up? Think about that. So if you're the father that has to deal with a mother like this, can you imagine how little progress you're going to get? And vice versa, if you're the mother dealing with a father like that, can you imagine the level of dysfunction that your child is going to go through? It sounds great to do this great beat on the chest and say, if you're a man, if you're a real man. But that's my concern about the Cynthia J Cynthia G and the Toni TKOs or whatever case may be. Because the thing about it is, no one's holding anyone responsible equally. Blake says effort is required. Well, Blake, here's the thing. If you go to court and the court outlines that you have certain visitation, okay, whether it's once or twice a month, okay, or maybe even more frequent. Again, I say again, your visitation, okay, does not supersede where the child is predominantly. Do anybody understand what I'm talking about, or is it just me? Does anybody understand what I'm talking about, or is it just me? The custodial parent is with that child day, night, morning, etc., etc., etc. When you get an opportunity to be with that child, you now have to defend yourself against all the rhetoric that has been told to that child. I'm just saying. My truth says people have to start thinking about how things said and done will affect their children's mental health. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And this is what I love about what you just said, my truth. Think about this. You said people. You didn't say men need to start thinking about it. You didn't say women need to start. You said people. That's the type of conversation we need to be having. That's my issue with the Cynthia G's and the Derek Jacksons and the Ace Metaphors and the Toni TKOs. It's always somebody else's fault while you ain't do the right thing. Why it's okay for you to deflect the situation. I'm talking about parents. I'm talking about adults. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about humans. But fuck all that. We talking about kids. They didn't ask to be here because you got horny one night. They didn't ask to be here. You decided to have kids but didn't want to have the responsibility. And God forbid if you have a parent that says, you know what, we got to do better than this. Hit the like button, goddammit. We having a conversation. You got to do better than this. So if you have a parent that is willing to work on the situation in regards to saying, hey, let me do my part. But you got another parent that wants to make it difficult. But then you got people out there applauding the parent for making it difficult. Oh, he's a deadbeat. Oh, she's a this and she's a that. But once you get off social media and fix the shit that you need to fix for your child, because at the end of the day, it's not for you. It's for your child. I'm not going to ruin where you work at because I know that the money that you make is for our child. I'm not going to disrespect you in the community because I know those relationships that you're building is going to benefit our child. But when you have people with a poison mindset, they can easily play the victim card. And that's the problem that I'm having, because it's not what you're saying, my truth. It's not. People have to start thinking about how things said and done will affect their children's mental health. They don't give a fuck. They fuck them kids. They don't care. It's all about them. It's all about their emotions. It's all about them getting their next fix. You don't want to get addicted to me? Okay, cool. I got something for that. You don't want to get a pussy to me? Okay, cool. I got something for that. You in a new relationship? Okay, cool. I got something for that. You happy without me? Okay, cool. I got something for that. But we tell people that we sit back and watch victimize other people. It's not their fault. Not one time do I hear these panderers and gaslighters and simps say, oh, well, maybe you the reason for some of the fuck shit. Maybe you the reason for some of the dysfunction. Maybe you the reason why the situation ended up the way it ended up. Maybe you the reason because you keep on adding stress, gossip, and drama to every interaction with the other parent. Again, this goes for both male and female. We talking about parents. I'm about to piss somebody off. got to think about that. What are we doing as bystanders, as brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and friends and all of this supporters? What are we doing to actually help this type of situation out? What are we doing? Shout out to everybody in the building. I see you. Soul Shine, I see you. Melissa David, I see you. King of the World, I see you. KLG. Ladies and gentlemen, before I wrap this thing up, I really want to lay this thing out for you guys. If you guys are going through something, and it involves children, be very meticulous of what is being said and what is being done. It is very important that you handle things correctly, because children learn from you what to do and what not to do. But most importantly is, if you continue to do the same behavior, that is what is going to stick in their mind. We have to change the narrative. We have to promote a different situation. So when you're listening to people that's only telling you to deflect, that's only telling you that it's only their fault and not your fault, that it's all men's fault, it's all women's fault. No, it's people's fault. It's parents' fault. It's adults' fault. KLG says, here is where it gets tricky. What can we do to swing the pendulum? Hey, you know what? I think what we can do is honestly humble ourselves. It's like we're afraid to say, I don't have all the answers. Or we're too afraid to let somebody else be right. And a lot of people go through the major extreme of trying to be right just to end up being wrong anyway. And it's crazy. And you know what? You're exactly right, David. You're exactly right. The children pay for it the most. You're exactly right. Blake says 50-50, shared custody. I hear you, Blake. I hear you. I hear you. But my thing about it is, when you really say it's all about the kids, you really have a respect for your children, and you really want to see them grow and prosper and be great citizens, great adults, great parents themselves, man, you're going to start doing things differently. You're going to start promoting a different conversation. You're going to start having a healthier life. You're going to watch what you say around them. You're going to watch what you do around them. You're going to watch who you take them around, watch who you invite into your home, watch who encourages your children or have conversations with your children. Watch what they watch, check their phones, check their laptops, check. You're going to do things to infiltrate nonsense, to mitigate bullshit. And if you don't do those things, guess what's going to happen? The streets are going to raise them. The pedophiles are going to get to them. The sex traffickers are going to get to them. Y'all want the truth? I'm giving you the truth. This tough love. Somebody else is going to raise your child while you think that you're providing your child all of the materialistic shit they need. Mentally, someone else is going to raise your child because you never took the time to talk to your child. You never found out what they like. You never found out what was going on with them. You never actually had an intimate conversation with them. You're exactly right. Be close to your children. Teach them. Give them standards. Give them morals. Give them responsibility. And make sure they do that fucking shit. If you tell them clean their room up, make sure they clean their room up. If you tell them to wash the dishes, make sure they wash it according to your standards. Make sure they do the right thing. But there's a lot of people out there that don't give their children standards. And then they wonder why they grow up dysfunctional. Because they grow up with this feeling of the world owes me something. They get into a relationship thinking someone owes me something. And then they get this harsh smack of reality. Don't nobody owe you shit. I ain't your mama. I ain't your daddy. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. People have learned how to parent from their from their parents incorrectly. They've learned how to not be responsible, not be productive, not think positively, not have a conversation. And they've inadvertently promoted that with their children. And then they wonder why their children have the sense of failure, the sense of lack of confidence that they have. Have you guys ever seen a healthy parent before? That's real shit. Have you ever seen a healthy parent before? Someone that actually appreciates life, respects themselves. I just has a healthy respect for life. I think Blake was on the show, I want to say either last night or the night before last, and he said something that, you know what I'm saying, that I thought was pretty good in regards to talking to your children, not yelling at them, but talking to them and explaining, you know, certain matters, you know, matters of the heart, matters of finance, matters of how things work. So I thought that was great advice to parents. And I want to reiterate not only just what Blake said, but also, you know, it's like this, man. Some things don't work out. Some relationships don't work out. And we get that as parents. We get that as adults. We get that as people, you know, but there was a reason why, again, unless it was a rape situation, it was, you know, involuntarily, someone take advantage of you. But other than that, there was a reason why you decided to deal with that person. You know, whether it was a love of art, whether it was a love of music, a love of partying, there was a reason why. And I think that those things need to be harped on more than the hateful things, for the bitter things, the vindictive things. Because here's the thing, man, when you tear down the other parent, you're tearing down a piece of that child. You're tearing down a piece of that child. Because at some point in time, it's going to slip. Your negativity, your vindictiveness, your bitterness, your eagerness to say something derogatory is going to slip out, and it's going to be directed towards that child. It may be a hit here, a belt hit here, a smack here, but it's going to be something. A verbal abuse comment here, it's going to be something. So you have to be mindful of what you're promoting to your child. Stop treating your children like they're not special, they're not wanted, they're not valuable. There should be a general line of respect given towards parents. I don't care if you're a non-custodial parent or you're a custodial parent. You know, everyone has a responsibility. If you were selected to be the custodial parent, congratulations, good for you. We understand that there are responsibilities that happen on a daily basis that custodial parents must take. We understand that there are fathers and our mothers that do not want to. I say fucking again, I'm about to piss somebody off. We understand that there are other people out there, okay, custodial and non-custodial, both male and female, that do not want to deal with their children and require and rely on someone else to be the single parent solely. We get it. And for that, we say, congratulations, kudos, you doing the damn thing, mom. You doing the damn thing, dad. But, I say again, but, if you are a custodial parent, right, getting support from the non-custodial parent, they are doing what they're supposed to do, abiding by visitation, paying child support, being there for you. Stop screaming and yelling you are a single parent. Stop trying to promote a badge of honor because you see other people getting the standing ovation. You got support. It might not be the support you want, because you probably will want that non-custodial parent in the house, if so. But the fact of the matter is, I think we give people run underneath titles for them to get kudos and the praise that that title gets. They use certain narratives for them to get validation and affirmation based on what that title brings. I would say this to you guys before I get up out of here. Be better people. Be better people. You know, be better people. I don't believe that this conversation is over, but I'm hoping that it sparked further conversations. I want you guys to I want you guys to do me a favor and share this video, because I want people to listen and I want people to say, you know what, I know someone like that. And I think that it is best that I go talk to them and get them some help, both male and female. If we stop blaming the opposite sex and stop trying to, you know, act like we're building one another up by blaming each other, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I get it. It's a lot of people who making a lot of money by saying, well, if I'm a man and I blame other men or I hold men responsible and say it's all your fault, man, that these women are like that the way they are. Well, here's the thing. What if you have women or parents like this on the screen? We don't know why she's like that. And who controls her now? Do men control her actions now, or do she control her actions now? We got to start working together. We have to start doing better as people. Stop hating one another. It's so many things that divide us. I hate you because you're white. I hate you because you're black. I hate you because you're Oriental. I hate you because you're Latina. Like, it's so many things to divide. I hate you because you're a man. I hate you because you're a woman. I hate you because you're gay. At some point in time, we need to start working together and say, fuck all of that bullshit. Let's just do what common sense tell us to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what this is, man, this is Tough Love. And I am yours truly, Mario J. Until next time, adult up. Hey, if I got to be the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. I holla.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you?